So part 2 is just review. So we're going to make a proportion for number 15. 1 inch equals 2 feet. And it wants to know the dimensions of the new room. So we have 6.5 inches. So I'm going to make it 6.5 and put the x over here. You cross multiply and divide. So you take 6.5 times 2 and you should get 13. So x is 13 for that one. And just by process of elimination, the only one that has 13 even in the answer is C. So by elimination, it's C anyway. But you can go ahead and put in the other dimension. You can cross out that and put 3 and solve the other one. And 3 times 2 would be 6. And it checks for C also. Number 16, what kind of triangle is that? And it says it's not drawn to scale because it obviously isn't. Scaling means that they're all three different, so it's definitely a scaling because they're all different. And in this case, it's also obtuse because you determine that by squaring the sides. Take the two smaller sides and you compare it to the third side. That's 9, that's 25, and that's 49. And if the two smaller sides are less than, then it's going to be an obtuse. So in this one, your answer is A. Sorry, it's a scaling acute triangle because it's less than. We have to make a note of that one. Go back and check that one. Scaling acute. Yeah, we'll come back and check that one. Number 17 on ABC is the right one. Describe the relationship. If it's right, then it has to be complementary. So I'm going to check that. Complementary means 90. Supplementary means this 180 is definitely not equal to 180. Vertical means that they're like across these and they're not. And obtuse means they're greater than 90 and they're obviously not. So number 17 is definitely A. Number 18, what is Y? Well, it's a straight line, so you have to take 180 minus 131, and you would get 49, which is B. Number 19, these are the ones that you can go back and you can plug and chug if you don't know the algebra. I'm going to show you the algebra way though. So it says to add 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 over here. That gets me 9. This says to multiply or divide by 7, so I multiply by 7. So I get 63 by working backwards. Number 20. So same thing, it says to multiply by 2.4, so I'm going to divide by 2.4, and 8.4 divided by 2.4 is C, 3.5. Number 21, which one of these shows all the equivalent things? So 1/4 I know is 20.25, but it is not 2.5%. 1/5 is 0.1/5. It's 0.2, not 0.25, so no, that one's not right. C, I know that 1/4 is 0.25, and if I move it 2 places over, it's going to be 25%. So 21 is C. And 22, what's the cost including tax? That's important. So we take 25 times 4.5%, and that would be $1.13. And tax means we add it onto it, so I take 25 plus $1.13, so I would get 26.13, which is option D. All right, 23, we're going to make a proportion. So we have 3.5 cups, and that gets us 12 servings. And it wants to know how many for 18 servings, so I'm going to put servings on that side. Again, we cross multiply there and divide by 12. So 23, when I cross multiply and divide, I get 5.25, which is C. 24 starts my no calculator. So 56 divided by 7 is 8. That was easy enough. Number 25, negative 6 minus 8. This is a long time ago, but I do keep change. So I change that and I change that. I can make a t-chart if you need to. So plus and minus, 6 and 8, they're on the same side, so I add. And they're both under the negative, so it's negative 14. Number 26. Again, you look at where they're crossing this out at, and it's a cylinder, so of course they're going to get a circle when they cross that out. So circle, and you draw a circle. So that's going to be similar to your short answer. Number 27. Are from the area of the shaded region. So we would take 1/2 times 6 times our bases added together. So 10 and 13 is 23. So 1/2 is 6. So get a calculator. 0.5 times 6 times 23 is 69. And then I find the other shape, and it's a rectangle, so I take 15 times 20. And I get 300. And then I subtract those two. So 300 minus 69, and I would get 231, because I have to subtract these two shapes to get the shaded region. All right, number 28, the circumference. So 2 pi r, it tells you is 50.24, so we have to work backwards. So we take the answer and we divide it by 2, and then we divide it by 3.14. So 50.24 divided by 2 divided by 3.14 gives me 8. So that's the radius. And number 29, the circumference is 50.24, so we're doing the same thing, except now it wants to know the area. Well, we already figured out that the radius was 8, so all I do is the area formula, which is pi r squared. So I take 3.14 times 8, because we just figured out the radius was 8, so 8 squared. So I take 8 squared, which is 64, times 3.14, and I would get 200.96, and our label is feet, and it's area, so it's feet squared. And if I go back up here, that one is 8 feet. All right, so going back to number 16, the rules are there, and c squared is less than, then it's acute, and if c squared is greater than, then it's obtuse. Since I was having a hard time with that one. So the actual answer choice isn't there because I got that c squared was greater than the other two sides, like the biggest side is greater than. So it should say A is obtuse. So we're going to leave it as A, but it should not be an acute. It should say obtuse. So hopefully I've changed that on the study guide, or I've told you to change it on your study guide, and if not, shame on me. But that one should be a scalene obtuse.